The air crackled with anticipation. We were in Kande, ready for the Mardi Himal Trek. Our backpacks were packed, our boots were laced, excitement buzzed within me. This was it, the start of an epic adventure. The trail started innocently enough. It meandered through charming villages. We passed by terraced fields. Locals greeted us with warm smiles. The air was fresh. The sun was shining. It was the perfect start to our trek. As we walked, the mountains loomed larger. We were heading deeper into the Annapurna region. Each step took us further away from civilization and closer to the raw beauty of the Himalayas. The trail narrowed. We entered a dense forest. Sunlight struggled to penetrate the canopy. The air was cool and damp. The scent of pine needles filled our nostrils. It was a sensory overload in the best way possible. We trekked for hours. The only sounds were our footsteps and the chirping of birds. Occasionally, we would come across a small village. These were humble abodes nestled amongst the trees. The villagers were incredibly welcoming. They offered us tea and snacks. We listened to their stories. They told us about their lives in the mountains. Their connection to the land was inspiring. The landscape began to change. The dense forest gave way to something magical. Rhododendrons, they were everywhere. These vibrant flowers painted the hillsides in hues of red, pink and white. We were trekking through a rhododendron wonderland. It was like walking through a dream. The air was thick with the sweet scent of the flowers. Bees buzzed lazily among the blossoms. The beauty of it all was breathtaking. We stopped often to admire the views. Each turn in the trail revealed a new and stunning vista. The Mardi Himal Trek is more than just scenery, it's also a cultural experience. The trail passes through several Gurung and Magar villages. These are the indigenous people of this region. They welcomed us with open arms. We stayed in tea houses, simple lodges run by locals. The tea houses offered basic accommodation and delicious meals. We shared meals with our hosts. We learned about their customs and traditions. The Gurung and Magar people are known for their warmth and hospitality. They are also incredibly resilient. They have adapted to life in these harsh mountain conditions. Their spirit was truly inspiring. Section 5, Low Camp, where panoramic views steal the breath away. This is a place where nature's grandeur is on full display, and every direction you look, there's a new marvel to behold. After days of trekking, we reached Low Camp. The journey had been long and arduous, but every step was worth it. The anticipation built with each passing hour, and finally we were here. The view from here was simply breathtaking. It felt like we had stepped into a different world, one where the mountains ruled and we were mere visitors. The Annapurna range stretched out before us in all its glory. Each peak seemed to tell a story of its own, a tale of time and endurance. The snow-capped peaks seemed to pierce the sky. Their sharp, jagged edges contrasted beautifully with the soft white snow that blanketed them. We stood there in awe, mesmerized by the sheer scale of it all. It was a moment of pure wonder, where words seemed inadequate to describe the beauty before us. The mountains seemed to go on forever. Each ridge and valley added to the vastness, creating a landscape that was both intimidating and inviting. It was a humbling experience. Standing there, we felt a deep connection to the earth, a reminder of our place in the grand scheme of things. We felt small in the face of such grandeur. The mountains, with their timeless presence, made us reflect on our own lives and the fleeting nature of our existence. Low Camp was the perfect place to catch our breath and to soak in the magnificent views. It was a sanctuary, a place where we could pause and appreciate the journey so far. We spent the afternoon relaxing. The tranquility of the camp, combined with the stunning backdrop, created an atmosphere of peace and contentment. We sipped on hot tea. The warmth of the drink was comforting, a perfect companion to the cool mountain air. We chatted with fellow trekkers. It was pure bliss, sharing stories, laughter, and the simple joy of being in such an extraordinary place made the experience even more special. Section 6, the climb to High Camp, a test of endurance and will. The next morning we set off for High Camp. The trail became steeper, the air thinner. This was the most challenging part of the trek so far, but we were determined to make it. We pushed ourselves one step at a time. We encouraged each other. We took breaks when we needed them. The views along the way kept us going. They were simply too good to miss. As we climbed higher, The vegetation thinned. The landscape became more rugged and dramatic. We were entering a high-altitude world of rock and ice. Section 7, High Camp Haven, finding serenity at the edge of the sky. Finally, we reached High Camp. We were exhausted but exhilarated. We had made it. High Camp is a desolate but beautiful place. It's perched on a ridge high above the clouds. The views from here were even more spectacular than those from Low Camp. We could see for miles in every direction. The Annapurna range dominated the skyline, but we could also see other peaks, including Dhaulagiri and Machapuchare. As the sun began to set, the sky exploded in a riot of colors. The snow-capped peaks glowed orange and pink. It was a sight we would never forget. Section 8, Chasing the Sunrise. An unforgettable ascent to Mardi Himal Base Camp. We woke up early the next morning. We had a mission to reach Mardi Himal Base Camp in time for sunrise. We set off in the darkness, our headlamps illuminating the trail. The air was thin and cold. Our breath formed clouds in front of our faces. But we hardly noticed. We were focused on reaching our goal and on witnessing the magic of a Himalayan sunrise. After a challenging climb, we reached the base camp just as the first rays of sunlight began to peek over the horizon. The sky turned a brilliant shade of orange, then pink, then purple. The beauty of the moment was indescribable. We stood in awe, taking in the panoramic view of the majestic Himalayas. The expressions on our faces reflected a mix of wonder and joy. It was a moment of pure bliss. Cameras clicked and videos were recorded, but no technology could truly capture the essence of what we were experiencing. We shared hugs and celebrated our achievement, feeling a deep sense of camaraderie and accomplishment. After the initial excitement, we sat down to enjoy a well-deserved rest, soaking in the serene beauty around us. Breakfast was a simple affair, but it tasted like a feast. We shared food and stories, bonding over our shared experience. As the sun climbed higher, it was time to pack up and begin our descent. The journey down was filled with reflections on the unforgettable ascent. We looked back at the base camp, now bathed in full daylight, and felt a sense of pride and fulfillment. Reaching the end of the trail, we were greeted with smiles and waves, knowing that we had just completed an adventure of a lifetime. The Himalayas stood majestic and serene, a reminder of the incredible journey we had undertaken. This ascent to Mardi Himal Base Camp would forever remain etched in our memories. Section 9, Triumph at the top, soaking in the majestic panorama. The sun rose higher in the sky, bathing the mountains in a warm glow. We stood there in awe, speechless at the beauty that surrounded us. We had done it. We had reached Mardi Himal Base Camp. It was a moment of pure triumph. We had pushed ourselves to our limits, and we had been rewarded with one of the most incredible views on Earth. We could see the entire Annapurna range from here. The mountains seemed to stretch on forever. They were majestic, awe-inspiring, and utterly unforgettable. Section 10, Downward Bound, a bittersweet farewell to paradise. After soaking in the views for a while longer, it was time to start our descent. We were tired, but content. We had experienced something truly special. We had discovered the hidden gem of the Himalayas. The trek down was a bittersweet experience. We were happy to be heading home, but we were also sad to be leaving this magical place behind. We knew we would never forget our time here. We took our time on the descent, savoring every moment. We stopped at tea houses along the way, enjoying one last cup of tea in the company of fellow trekkers. Section 11, Mardi Himal Trek, an experience etched in time. This trek is not just a journey through the mountains, it's a journey through one's soul. The Mardi Himal Trek was an unforgettable experience. Every step taken on this path felt like a step closer to nature, to serenity, and to oneself. It was a journey of physical and mental challenge. The steep climbs tested our endurance, while the thin air at high altitudes challenged our resolve. It was a chance to connect with nature. The dense forests, the clear mountain streams, and the chirping of birds created a symphony that was both calming and invigorating. And it was an opportunity to immerse ourselves in the rich culture of Nepal. The warmth and hospitality of the local villagers, their traditions, and their way of life added a unique dimension to our trek. The trek taught me the importance of perseverance. Every obstacle, every challenging terrain was a lesson in determination and resilience. It showed me the power of nature, The majestic landscapes, the ever-changing weather, and the sheer scale of the mountains were humbling and awe-inspiring, and it reminded me of the beauty that exists in the world. The vibrant flowers, the diverse wildlife, and the breathtaking sunrises were a testament to nature's splendor. I returned home feeling refreshed, rejuvenated, and grateful for the experience. The trek had not only challenged me physically, but had also nourished my soul. If you're looking for an off-the-beaten-path trek in the Himalayas, one that offers solitude and a deep connection with nature, I highly recommend the Mardi Himal Trek. It's a journey that will challenge you, inspire you, and leave you with memories that will last a lifetime. It's a hidden gem that will stay with you long after you've left the mountains. The memories of the trek, the people you meet, and the landscapes you traverse will be etched